Everybody, welcome back to the Couch channel where we have, holy hell, it's another update from the Dungeon Beneath. Now, we will talk more about how much of this game we're going to play, but we will play a bit more of this game, but we are on 1.3.2, the Dwarven update. Version 1.3.2 is finally here. This update brings new characters, new items, and new dungeon rooms. Ooh, so we have the dwarves have arrived. This update brings 4 new dwarves and 3 other playable characters. So here we have Cleric of the Hammer. He be unlocked, confound all levels. Summon hammers, have 1 hit point, deal damage, and then take 1 damage. So it's only temporary, huh? So Cleric of the Hammer, level 3 dwarf mage at maximum is 1 attack, 2 speed, 7 hit points, but at the end of the round will summon a golden spectral hammer. Now you might think having 1 damage is bad, but first of all, if they can take any damage or hit points, they can attack. I mean, idiot. No, they can tank. So they can always tank for the Cleric of the Hammer. But most importantly of all, one of the weaknesses of a summon build is the fact that you cannot... you couldn't reliably summon. This guy summons every single round. So many of the summon builds will only allow you to summon like once or the first couple of turns. So you can actually help build a summon party with Cleric of the Hammer. So I do like that they're trying to make stuff a little more viable. We'll talk at the end. I don't know if this one class is going to do it though. The Broom Master. Oh, he looks ready to have a fun party. Look at that. Begins unlocked and can be found all levels. Level 3 Dwarven Fighter, 9 hit points, 2 attack, 2 speed, no restrictions. Back only was for him. No restrictions for Broom Master. And he has a counter whenever, which means, remember, counter means when he takes a hit, restores 1 health to a damaged non-heroic ally. So that's really cool. That is another nice tanky boy up front for the heal builds. You gotta love it. Like, healing is already really strong in this game. It's nice to see them add more to it. The Roon Smith, unlocked and all levels. A level 3 Dwarven Fighter, 8 hit points. Less hit points, even though he's obviously wearing way more armor than the Broom Master. Look at that. Only 1 attack, only front rank, and 2 speed. When another dwarf takes damage, will gain 1 power. So you definitely build dwarf parties around this dude. The end of the round gains 1 armor for every other dwarf. Ooh. So yeah, the Runesmith is made to... Remember, your hero can be a dwarf too, I believe. So that's like 4 to 6 armor this guy can gain. And he's just going to hit harder every time your other dwarves take damage. So I like that. And the final one is the Battle Thane. Begins unlocked only in levels 2 and 3. Dwarf Fighter, 9 hit points, 1 attack, no restriction, 3 speed. As a follow-up, will trigger all adjacent characters' counter effects. So, like this guy and other people who have counters. That's interesting. There's also some good items that you can counter with. That's cool. We also have Xerxes. It begins unlocked, levels 2 and 3. Poison scales, 2 hit points, deal 1 damage. In addition, they are poisonous and inexhaustible. He's a level 3 Lizardfolk Archer, 6 hit points, 1 attack, 4 speed. After the first and second round, will summon a poison scale, which have 2 hit points, 1 damage, and they are poisonous, can move around. So, not bad. He can kind of be used in a summon build, but really not only in the first couple of rounds. So not bad. Ven the Eldest must be unlocked, only found in level 3. An elemental fighter with 11 hit points, 1 damage, front line only, and 1. When a poison character dies... Oh, so he's really good for your poison build. He's a nice tanky guy. Gains... Whoa, wait a second. Hang on. That's damn powerful. Now, poison builds usually have low hit points, so I don't know how powerful it will be. But... gains 1 attack, not 1 power, gains 1 attack. Which means that he will keep, if you just kill 2 guys for the rest of the fight, he's dealing 3 damage. And will always restore. That's amazing. And then Ariane the Force Spirit, only in level 3, an elf fighter with 8 hit points. It doesn't tell me if he can be locked, unlocked, or starts unlocked. I'm not sure. He has 8 hit points. He has 1 attack, no restriction, 8 speed. When an ally dies, restore 1 health. All summoned allies would... Okay, again, really helping with those follow-up skills to make your allies, all summoned allies. So again, this seems to be focusing mostly on... They gave the heal builds a little love, but they made dwarf parties more viable. And they've made this helped summoned and poison groups. We'll talk about it later. But we have a new hero, Xandos III, the Golden Emperor, who is an unlockable variation of the basic. No attack, 1 speed, but gains attack for every 4 gold you have and is inexhaustible. So, you know, if you have a decent... That's not bad. If you like to carry a lot of cash, Xandos will deal a lot of damage. We also have new dungeon rooms. You can unlock new dungeon rooms. Oh, as you level up. That's cool. Bonfires. These upgraded campfires have 5 characters to choose from. Ooh. And in addition, we'll offer a potion. Oh my goodness. So, that's really useful. That's a huge help. Because having a bunch of level 3 guys at the end of the run is one of the things that can determine if you win or lose that run. We also have the treasure rooms. Each treasure room gives you extra gold. Probably to make treasure rooms a bit more viable. There was almost never any reason to go for a treasure room. There was almost every other reason to go somewhere else. And then Amon's treasure room gives you a cursed ring that will give you gold every battle, but comes with a special draw. So it's like the tome would give you a book where the next fight has a negative, but you get gold for it. This is, hey, do you want every fight to... And then at the end of the game, before you fight the final boss, just ditch the ring. Who cares? Note that Andromelos and the Keysmith are now unlocked through progression. Interesting. Legendary is the hardest difficulty yet. I'm never going to get there. I'm just never going to get there. The game is not... I don't know... Well, the game's more balanced now. I don't know if it's balanced enough, though. In addition to increasing the difficulty of most battles, new enemies will appear during each of the Old God fights. Ooh. Note that you have to defeat New Game +5 to unlock Legendary, even if you've already completed it. Sorry. Additionally, the portal area has a new final boss with a special achievement. Is that the one where... Somebody let me know. Is that the one where if you have the... What's the ring or item I need to get to the portal area? Because I'll do that on normal. Since it doesn't seem to be... Or is it only on Legendary? Somebody tell me. I don't know if I'm ever going to get there, but again, we're going to talk at the end. We have character balance changes. The Arcane Archer got a buffed. So, goes from 3-4 hit points to 4-6. Oddly enough, did not increase at level 3. So that's interesting. The Sage of the Word also gains an extra hit point. Yeah, these characters have, especially in the higher difficulties, too many of your backline characters can only take 1 hit and they die. And the Ranger goes from 4-5 to 5-7. Again, just probably trying to make characters who are either dying too easily or just not picked a lot to be a little more viable. Also removed the attacks the lowest health enemy from Wrath Conduit, but gave them inexhaustible. Okay. We also have new equipment, the Throwing Axe, dwarf only. Adds counter, deal 1 damage to random enemy. Oh, that's cool. The Holy Axe, also dwarf only. When this character gains health, they also gain power. Ooh. The Starstone, elemental only. Gives 1 attack. Follower's Cloak, follower only, adds 2 hit. Are those the guys that I start with at the beginning of the game? That seems really... I don't know if that's actually viable. I don't know. The Hatchling Egg, lizard folk only. After the first round was summoned a lizard folk hatchling, probably the tank. Ooh, and also added some secrets. We also have more equipment and artifact balance changes. So, Viana's Hex now has 2 poison 2 random enemies instead of 1. That makes it really good, just regardless. As well as the fact that it makes it really good for poison builds. The Essence Collector, when a summoned ally dies, was summoned 2. Previously only summoned 1. It's still kind of weak, but at least it's better. The Ever-Burning Flame will now give 1 ally... Oh, so there's a reason to keep it alive now. Jack's Fiddle, will give you 3 gold instead of 2 when you visit Campfire, and they've also updated for Bonfire. The Royal Insignia now has in it, still refresh your Campfire and store as free first refresh, but now, at the start of your battle, your hero attacks. Oh, the quick draw trick. I'm so excited. The quick draw quiver now has battle start. Allied archers attack twice. Was previously only once. Damn, that's potentially brutal. The Arbiter's Blade was only a power buff, but now gives your hero 3 power and shield, so they can tank a bit more. The Green Scale Wand used to only target Beast, but now gives a random most summons at the very start of this game were Beasts, so that made sense. But now, giving them armor is a little bit better. The Midas Potion now makes a statue that sells for 10 gold instead of 6. Interesting. The Berserker's Axe and the Midas Belt are slightly cheaper, but to bounce that, they're only dwarf. Oh. Enemy bounces. Lycanthropes only have 5 speed instead of 7. They're just too good. They hit hard, and they, except for like Elven builds, they would just always go first. And I believe they have buffs for when they kill enemies, so it could very quickly spiral to where they would just slaughter you. Several encounters now have ancient heralds. This is intended to make the fight slightly easier for Doom builds, which really did need the help, guys, or builds that rely on killing enemies. The Enchantress is now debuffed from 14 health to 10. That is the girl she can just buff her allies. It's really hard. And the Veninix Simuli will change lanes at the end of each round. Other updates, Nazatoth's Boom now offers slightly better items. Thank God. Because I would take that and I would get crap items and it just wasn't fun. Invisible characters are now slightly transparent. The Poison Tooltip now specifies that characters only take damage after their normal attack, not any attack. That's pretty good. Because now if you had like counter but you got poisoned, then you could easily drain your HP in 1 or 2 turns. And the Berserker has updated visuals to better match its dwarven aesthetic. And bug fix, first of all, let's rate this up. Potion of Transformation no longer gives certain level 2 characters. Oh, I think that was only pulling from certain level 2 characters. Okay. I hadn't noticed that, but I wasn't playing with it too much. Fixed a bug where the enemy hero wouldn't take damage in certain circumstances from the Venom Cap item. Thanks Stardust Hippie for spotting this. The Blood Hex artifact now correctly summons a Bloodshade in any lane. Fixed a bug where items were being prevented from being equipped on your hero in certain situations. The merchant no longer steals items if you refresh. Oh, I've never done that before, so thank God. That would really annoy me. So, we're going to start playing again. You guys are going to see it a couple times a week. I love the game. It's really fun. We will start back on normal difficulty. First, I want to give these new builds a chance. And second of all, let's talk about the issues with the Dungeon Beneath that I feel like hold it back from being such a great game. I haven't gotten a chance to play with all this, so this is pre 1.3.2. The hardest thing about this game is that you could only really succeed on the higher difficulties with armor or heal builds. Doesn't mean it's impossible to play any other way. Don't start saying, "Oh cow, I've beaten this game with a archer build or with a." I'm sure you have. I'm saying that all other builds dropped off a lot. So seeing all these new items and abilities and stuff that don't really help armor. There was like 1+ armor, and there was like 1 heal thing. But most of it was like, here's how you build a dwarf-only party, and here's a bunch of buffs for mages and archer, and lots of cool stuff, and summon builds. So that's really cool, first of all. The second part that makes this game so much harder is it's a roguelike, which roguelikes are hard, don't get me wrong. The Dungeon Beneath is different in that even though it says you leveled up, you don't actually level up in this game. Every time I level up, I'm going to be unlocking these classes and rooms and stuff. But that only adds things in the game for me to possibly encounter. And hopefully with all the new rooms, they're also randomizing the rooms a bit more. Because it was always, every time I either choose between these two battles, or I choose between this item room or this recruit room. It was always the same. So I would make levels 1, 2, and 3 slightly longer, just by like 1 or 2 rooms. And I would also heavily consider completely randomizing the rooms. You could get really great or really bad, but that's the fun. But again, I'm only unlocking things that I can possibly get. I am not actually getting stronger myself. Now, there are all exceptions. If you kill the boss, you get to pick a buff at the beginning of the game. That's the only thing that you get to do now. It's really the only thing that makes you stronger. So as the game continues, and especially because you get debuffs on the higher difficulty levels, the thing about roguelikes is that no matter how bad you are at the game, if you put the time in, you will eventually win. You will get stronger every single time. And sometimes you'll have a bad roll and it'll be a short run, and sometimes you have a great roll and it's a long run. But you will always get stronger. That's the one thing I really feel that the Dungeon Beneath needs to try to consider. It might not be until 1.4 at the earliest or ever. It's the developer's choice. They might say, that's a cool idea, but it really ruins the aesthetic. And it could. We're playing this game a lot. I don't hate this game. I'm just saying, especially to help bring in new players and to help people who struggle. I struggle sometimes. But I know there's a lot of people who have commented that they just can't get as far as high difficulty as I have. And I haven't even done all the difficulties. It's because there's a very low ceiling to how powerful the player gets. And we need to have things that increase that ceiling the more you play. I'm not saying you should eventually have a bunch of 25 hit point Templar or Knights who can kill things with the Void Swords or anything like that. Although if you want to put that in, that's pretty damn cool. I'm just saying I would like to see actual player progression that always, even if it's just little things at a time, always help to give you that little bitty push. Only other thing I can suggest, I'll do it right here. Discuss. Love to see it. Only thing I would change is, if possible, can the preview of which enemy hero you fight also remind you of what their ability and stats are? It might be helpful since you've added so many awesome ones, as well as, what am I thinking here real quick? As well as some of them look similar and my brain no work good with memory. Alright. Guys, there's also a casual guide here if you're really interested. This is going to be amazing. This is going to be fun. So you will start seeing more of the Dungeon Beneath. We're going to start on normal just to try out some builds again, as well as to have fun. Let me know in the comments below if you've already figured out this one thing. I want to do the portal thing for you guys. It says the portal area has a new final boss with special achievement. I don't know if that's only on Legendary, and I don't remember how to unlock it. I gotta go back through my playthrough, which is like 150 episodes, and figure it out. Guys, let's do more Dungeon Beneath a couple of times a week as we continue to move to 500 subs with awesome games like this, and I'll see you next time.